Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Fit Mom Society podcast. I am so excited for today because it's not a traditional conversation. This is clearly called the Fit Mom Society podcast, but I had to have my friend Joey on. He is a private chef. He has such a huge story to tell. And I was like, you know what? It would be super interesting from a male's point of view of how to navigate weight loss, how to navigate macros, how to navigate making the time for yourself and the actual benefits of, taking care of yourself and those around you. So welcome, Joey. Tell us who you are for the listeners that don't know you, your business, like what you're all about. Tell us all the goods.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate you having me on. So my name's Joey Chavez. I am a private chef here in Houston, Texas. Live with my wife and 4 kids in Richmond, Texas. Yeah, like I said, I'm a private chef. I cook for high net worth people around Houston. I also work for a family full time, which is pretty interesting being a personal chef. Something I never thought I'd be doing, right? I was an executive chef for a really long time. Went to Lamar University. That's where Whitney and I know each other from. Played football down there and kind of been on this journey of moving around, chasing my dreams, becoming a chef while having a family and balancing trying to grow a business and everything that comes with it, right? The growing family.
All the things, but this is like the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship too is yes, you're able to chase your dream. Yes, you're able to do it with a family. And I just really want to drive home to those listening that you can do whatever you want to do, even with a pile of kids, marriage, like all the things
Yeah.
that go with just life, that you still can chase down what you're wanting to do and help others with your talents. Tell us, like, how did you even get into the culinary space? I selfishly want to know that.
Yeah. It was something I always knew I wanted to do, right? Growing up, it was even when I can remember back to like 4th grade, right? Like it was like, what are you going to do? I want to be a chef, right? I was the kid pulling out the barbecue, helping the parents light it up, like cooking. Everybody's out playing. Joey's over here helping barbecue. And so being a chef was kind of always what I wanted to do. There was nothing else. There was no plan B. And I just tried to make that happen, right? Going to college, I knew I wanted to cook, but I also knew I wanted to play football. So I picked a university that had kind of both the best worlds, and I ended up at Lamar, right? They had a culinary program, football scholarship, kind of just made sense. So long story short, played football. Really didn't get to cook during that time, just because obviously they own you when you're on a football scholarship. It's every day for 4 years, whatever it was, right? So yeah, I started cooking when football ended down in Beaumont. I was working at a koi sushi bar, and then I was going over to Lake Charles, Louisiana, working at a place called La True Sauvage. That's really where I learned to cook, right? Learned to cook the right way, foundations. But Lamar made that connection. If I never went to Lamar, I never would have met these guys. And these
Right.
guys are the reason I know how to cook and
Yeah.
did what I did throughout my career because they set a really good foundation. And from there, it's just everywhere, man. We've lived in Colorado, we've lived in San Francisco, LA, Napa, Vail. The East Coast. We lived in Baltimore. Worked in Vegas. Worked in Chicago. Worked all throughout New York. Yeah, it's been crazy. And through all of
That's
that,
wild.
met my wife, right, Katie. Yeah. So it's been fun.
That's awesome. Well, and I saw that post you did the other day, and I thought it was so impactful. Just from like coming the outside in, not experience the same thing, but I know my audience specifically, my listeners specifically, are probably putting themselves in a box when it comes to like what they're
Yeah.
capable of, their potential, their weight loss goals. And you put it so perfectly, like, as yourself, you said, yes, I was always the O-line guy. Like I was always the beefy big guy, and that was okay. And, that's how I was
Yeah.
known. And, looking at old Joey, like as yourself, right? And you're saying, it didn't have to be that way. I'm living proof now today that you don't have to be who you've always thought you had to be when it comes to appearance and health and wellness. Like, tell us, when did that shift happen? Was there like a moment in time where you're like, hey, something's got to change? Like, tell us about that journey.
Yeah, so I mean, I've always been a big guy, right? Played offensive line. It's what paid me to go through college. So I was like, I'm a big guy, whatever. Like I'm 300 pounds. It's cool. This is who I am. But as you get older, you get away from, okay, I was a 300-pound athletic guy in college. Now I'm a 300-pound 35-year-old. That's a little bit different. And I never really stopped and thought about it until COVID. Right? I was just so busy going, working crazy hours, 90 hours, 100 hours a week, kids, wife, like all this stuff. I never really stopped and thought about myself. And then COVID hit and it slowed down. And that's really during that downtime, like my life stopped, like a lot of people. But for us, it was a blessing because I not only looked at myself, my family, where I was showing up and where I wasn't showing up. Right? I had to be home. That's the most I've ever been home in my professional career. And I realized a lot of ways in my life I was messing up. I wasn't showing up as a father. I wasn't showing up as a husband. I wasn't showing up as a son. I mean, I just wasn't showing up in any way besides work. I make a paycheck. I'm really, really good at it. We make good money. That's it. That's what I do. I'm the provider. That's enough. That's all I'm doing, right? I'm a paycheck. And I thought that was enough in my marriage, for my kids, in my life. Like I missed everything, everything. Joe was always gone. Katie was traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast, seeing her family. It was just, yeah, it was just hard point. And so slowing down, I started this self growth journey of like, all right, there's more to me than just being a chef. Um, Dove into that, and that's where it really like, all right, I just started discovering new avenues and to grow as an entrepreneur and to grow just in general these steps that people were taking. And I thought it was all financial at first, and it was wrong still. But sitting back, seeing what's important, being the family, being around and spending time with them, like that really was the root of it all. I tried to figure out how can I be home more. And then you start figuring out, all right, you can generate income doing real estate. You can do social media, whatever it may be. So I thought that's what I need to do. And as I dove further into that, I started about getting into mentorship programs. I did a real estate mentorship called Sub 2. I did a father mentorship called Superhuman Fathers. So I invested in myself, right? All these great entrepreneurs got to where they got to because they invested in themselves. I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to buy a course. I'm not going to do that. But the knowledge and the growth, this is happening over a 4-year period to where we are now. And I just started trying to learn to grow. Then that led to investing in myself. Then that led to, all right, showing up as a father. And now, how do I show up as the best version of myself as a father and a husband? I have to be at peak physical performance. And that's mentally. And what's that stem from? That stems from physically. And physically is being in shape, right? If you're not doing hard shit every day, you're not showing up every day, like your mind, you call it what? We call it a sad clown in F3. You just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And once you start showing up in that avenue, it changes everything.
That's so great. Like that is such a testimony to, okay, COVID sucked. Yeah, everything stopped,
Yeah.
revenue was down, but like you cannot show up as the best entrepreneur, best anything without taking care of your mind and body. Period. The end. Amen. Like knowing now, like people can fight us on it, right? Because we
Yeah.
know that if you show up for yourself and for yourself, yes, that is going to pour in and trickle into every kind of aspect in your life. But if you're not okay, no one around you is going to be okay, and as the
Yep.
foundation or the glue or whatever position you hold in your family and your position at work, whatever, it's never going to be optimal if you're not optimal. So this is like a perfect example. And
Yep.
like, tell us, how are you making the time, one, with a pile of kids, being married, full entrepreneurial journey, chasing after your dreams? I just feel like you and I are both a no excuse type of person, and not everyone resonates with that, which is that okay? That's okay, but we are here, and this
Yeah.
conversation is to challenge yourself, challenge your mind, challenge your body to be the best version of yourself. But how are you making the time to do that? Because that's probably not the biggest excuse. I don't want to be that harsh, but it is the biggest excuse. Like, I don't have time, I'm not consistent.
It's one of the
But
biggest
how are you
excuses.
doing
Oh
it?
yeah. Yeah, again, it's a huge excuse. I had that excuse for a long time too. It's like I work 15, 16-hour days. I don't have time to work out. Like, no, I can't do that. Um, but it just comes down to ultimately like your why and how important it is to you, right? if you like something super important and you see the impact it has on you and what it's doing for your life and changing your life and how like much it can better yourself, you're going to figure it out. Right. So for me, again, I still work a lot. I drop the kids off at 7:30 at school and I go straight to work and I don't come home. I don't leave there till 8:39. Right. And that's downtown. That's 45 minutes away. So I'm gone all day working, all day working. But what I do is I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I go work out for 2 hours before I come home, take a shower and wake up my kids. So now I'm not losing out on time with my family. I'm not interrupting the work, the busyness of the day. Like I tried doing this at the end of the day and it was just taking away time from my wife, taking away time from the kids. So for me, I just really had to come down to how bad I wanted it. And it works out for me to do it in the morning. So what do I sacrifice? Okay, I'm a little bit tired, but I wake up 2 hours earlier. I'm working out. I'm in a better state of mind. Now I come home. All right, I leave. I go out there at 4 o'clock. We go do a 3 mile ruck. Then we come back and do like a 45-minute workout with sandbags or just high intensity workout out there with a bunch of dudes. And that's it. And I come home, shower, and I wake the kids up. So now I actually gain time too, like, because I used to always sleep in the morning. I like never woke up. I was like, oh, I worked all night. I can't wake up. So I missed out on those opportunities with the kid, with the babies, with the wife. Now I'm coming home. I'm waking everybody up. I get to, make them breakfast, give them their smoothie, whatever it is, get them ready for school and drop them off. So now I gain more time with my kids because, I'd go a couple days sometimes without seeing them. Now that doesn't happen. Right? I see everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
So you
And
make the time, and you'll be surprised what comes from it, what stems from it. Like it's insane.
Well, I can't imagine like the kids of a private chef too. Their breakfast is probably top notch.
Oh no, come on, no, not at all. My wife is over here laughing because no, not at all. My kids are picky eaters. My wife is
Oh,
a very plain Jane meat and potato kind of woman.
oh,
Most nights in our house consist of tacos, right? We just chop up steak, we chop up chicken. I mean, the kids love it. They like to build their own tacos.
I
It is
love
what it is.
that.
But
It's just
no,
it's just a good activity.
it is. I mean, the kids serve themselves. Our kids are very self-sufficient, right? Like my 6-year-old, sorry, he's 6 now. But even when he was 5, he would go make his own sandwich, pull everything out. Like I came out one time, I'll never forget it. He was eating a sandwich. I'm like, dude, who just made you that? He goes, I did. I go, where's the mess? He goes, I cleaned up. He
Oh
had a
my
Nutella
gosh.
sandwich, like just hanging out.
That's just a
So yeah,
reflection of
they love
you.
that.
That's just a reflection of you and Katie though. Like clearly there is some kind of foundation that is being built, or they're seeing it, or it's a reflection of you guys building that self-sufficiency. I mean, it's not just wired, right? They're seeing it. Like if you want something,
Yeah,
do it, pick up after yourself.
do it.
It's kudos to you guys. I mean, and back to making the time, and then I want to kind of dive into something else. Making the time,
Yeah,
one, and sacrificing the mornings. Yes, it sucks at first. It freaking sucks at first, right? But I think we oftentimes
yeah,
forget that energy has to be created. It is not just made on its own, right? So it's not going to just magically, your fatigue is going to go away. If you're not doing it in the afternoon and you're not wanting to sacrifice it after work, set the tone for the
yeah,
day and get it done in the morning.
yeah,
Sacrifice a little bit of sleepiness, because that will subside after time. Because like I said, energy has to
yeah,
be created. As you create that routine of getting up at 5 a.m., nobody wants to freaking do that, at first. But then you're like, oh, I'm feeling good after 3, 4, 5 weeks of getting up at 5. And now I'm setting the entire trajectory of the day. Right. So I think we forget that, yeah, it sucks at first, but it's so rewarding getting through and over the hump. You know what I mean?
yeah. Definitely. It ends up paying itself off. It's hard at first. Yeah, it does. Nobody wants to wake up that early, especially when you're getting home from work at 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Like I don't go to bed till 11, 12, just so I can spend a little bit of time with Katie. So there's times when I'm only getting 4 hours of sleep. Everybody's like, "Oh, you need your sleep. You need your sleep." But I also have goals and I want to do things. And like, yeah, I could sleep in an extra 2 hours, but then I'm not going to get a really badass workout in, and then I'm not going to, set my day up with energy, right? Like I tell my wife all the time, is after these workouts, when I'm going through lunch about like 12, 1 o'clock, I feel like I drank rocket fuel. Like I'm just like in a good mood.
Yes.
I'm in the middle of cooking, like setting up.
Preach.
Like it's just, I'm
Yes.
driving and it's a great day, and then I'm just going. And it wears off a little bit as the day goes on. 4, 5, 6 o'clock when I've
Yeah.
been on my feet all day. You drink a little bit of coffee and just finish the day. It's
Just
worth
keep
it.
on going. Yeah.
It's again sacrificing
Yeah. I mean, it just
sacrificing a
had,
little bit of sleepiness.
yeah. I love that. And how did y'all even form this type of community with the run that you do, the ruck run that you do in the morning, the workout? Is it like just a group of guys that knew each other, or is it some neighborhood guys? Like, how did that form? Because I know oftentimes people feel like when they're starting, they feel really alone because they feel left behind, or they're too overweight, or like they don't know what they're doing and they're scared to ask somebody to be an accountability partner. How did y'all form this community y'all now have of like 10 plus guys, right?
Oh, it's way bigger than that. So it's a community that I was invited into. It's called F3. F3. So it's a nationwide, it's worldwide actually. It's all over the place. But what it is, it's a free men's workout group. And what they do is they come together in the morning. They call them AOs, areas of operation. It's got a military basis to it, but it's been around for like 10 years now. And it started on the East Coast, worked its way across the country. And yeah, I mean, just in my area alone, there's 5 different workout areas that work. So there's like 45 different workouts throughout the week, all in the morning, led by men of the communities. And what we do is we meet up out there. And out here, any given day, it's Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. The one that's across the street meets at 5:30 a.m. and about 15 guys on average. Some days there's 20, some days there's 12, some days there's 18. But come out, it's peer led. So we sign up. Hey, I'm leading the workout on Tuesday next week. I come out there for 45 minutes. You show up on time. You start on time. We plant our flags, and we go and we lead the workout. And you try to crush the guys that are there. You're doing anything from burpees, squats to. I started a workout area that meets. We do sandbag workouts. So we work out with 100-pound sandbags for 45 minutes. It's nonstop. You're going and you're pushing yourself and you're competing against other men. But it doesn't matter age, race, fitness. I mean, I showed up. I'm a 300-pound sloppy dude. Like,
Yeah.
I got out there and I just started getting after it. And I realized, it's funny. Tell Katie is like in college, I was always kind of the slower guy. I mean, I was heavy and I was shorter than a lot of the other offensive linemen. So I was slow. Whatever. It is what it is. Now it's like, damn, I'm a little bit more athletic than a lot of these
Heck
regular people
yeah.
that never played
Yes.
college sports. But still, start out, right? It doesn't matter who you are, what shape you're in. You show up, you work out. If guys last, we all go back to the guy who's last. And you modify as needed. There's no pressure. It's intimidating at first because you're like, these guys, they're over here doing like 100 burpees. Like, God, I can't even do 5. But
Yeah.
you start showing up every day, show up. And now, we're doing workouts that there's 250 burpees.
Yeah.
I'm out there running 6 miles. 6 miles. I've never ran 6 miles, even when I was in the best shape of my life playing college football. I'm out here at 260 pounds running 6 miles. Then we're coming in and we're doing a 45-minute workout. So it's like, I'm in great shape right now.
Yeah, that's freaking amazing. But you had a day one. You had where you could not even do 1 to 5,
100%.
whatever you said, 5 burpees when everyone else is doing 250.
Yeah.
But like, this is when people throw in the towels, like, oh shit, it's day 1 and they're comparing themselves to somebody else's day 365. It's completely different.
Yeah.
And if you would just like give yourself some grace, and I'm talking to the listener because I know exactly who's listening, and it's just give yourself some time. Put the stress and the pressure off. Community is crucial. Like, I'm hoping there's somebody in your life that is the person that's going to invite you to this community, right? Now it is time, and now it's our responsibility as Whitney and Joey, right? As to invite 10 people to our community. You know what I mean? Like, because I know there's people out there that are not going to ask. They're going to feel intimidated. They're going to feel scared. They're going to get in their own way. Oh my gosh, I see that all the time.
It's
the
you
one
versus
person.
you. That's what it comes down to. I mean, you versus you. Like, you show up, it's on you how you're going to show up. And it's scary. But once you have that community, though, that is
it's game
everything.
over. Yeah.
I tried it so many times by myself. It's until I invested in joining in communities. I didn't realize the impact that it would have on your life. And so taking that from, again, learning other hobbies and whatnot, and applying this to fitness, and then just happened to come across this F3 group because my neighbor invited me, who
Yeah.
he was invited by another guy, right? He was invited by his bug guy. His bug guy showed up, was like, did his bugs, and he asked the wife, he's like, hey, does your husband work out? He's like, well, kind of, yeah. He's like, all right, well, come out here with us. So
That's
he went out one day
so
and he invited me. Now
um,
there's
that's so
6 guys that
beautiful.
live around us. Like,
Yeah.
all the dads, all the families who hang out, all live together in our neighborhood. We all go out and work out, right?
Well, and then
Like,
you start
it's just what we do now.
doing life together too. Now you have community
Right.
of men that are backing you in your fitness journey, right? And then you have a community of families that are in
Yep.
the same chapter as you, that you can lean on
Yep.
for, I don't know if y'all do or not, but like marital advice, kid advice, peer-to-peer advice. Like those are now your built-in friends that turn family, that steer you
Mm-hmm.
and keep you on the right path, you know?
Oh, 100%. That's what they were even before we were working out together. We have this little community around us that we all kind of support each other. We all met during COVID, and we hang out. Our kids all go to school together. They're all pretty much the same ages,
Yeah.
right? There's a bunch of 12-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and whatever running around. So all our kids are always together. The parents, that's who we hang out with. Those are kind of our people. And, everybody supports each other when you need help with whatever it is. You need help? Boom. Hey, can you watch my kids? Do this. When we had the baby, hey, they were watching the kids, right? Like, it's just, we're all super close. And
That's
going
so
out and working
great.
out together, you see the impact. And it's crazy because you can actually see the impact it has on the families around you and your friends. And not just like, all right, it's changing our lives, it's changing their lives too for the better. And then the moms are like, hell yeah, my husband needs to go work out at F3. Like, get his ass out the house, take him out there, work out. It makes everything better. You show up more at home, you help out more, you show up for your kids, you're losing weight, you're getting in shape, sex is better. Like,
Heck yeah.
everything. It's like,
Yes.
it's great.
I love that. And I love that you said you can just see it. You can literally visually see,
Yeah.
the light coming into people's lives, because they're healthier, they're feeling
Yeah.
better, they're more confident, they're better to be around. You know what I mean? They're not always agitated,
Yeah.
fatigued, or you're like the things that happen when you're out of shape and you're not taking care of yourself, Like, tell
Yeah.
me though, because this is funny. I'm always gathering feedback from social, my email list, people that listen to the podcast, and I'm like, okay, I'm having my friend Joey on. What do y'all want to hear more about? And it wasn't what we've already talked
Yeah.
about before we even started the podcast, of like the male's point of view, how do you show up for the wife and all of that. It was literally, how do I meal prep like a private chef? With 4 kids, they want to
I meal
know
prep.
the macros, the meal prep, but like how are you personally fueling yourself and your family? Because I think this is another intimidating factor of like meal prep takes 7 hours out of your Sunday and all this stuff, but how are you fueling yourself? And how are y'all making it work for your entire family? Like, what does meal prep look like for you and your family?
So meal prep, well, it's two different ways. Because one of the families I work, one of the family that I work for full time, right? I do a lot of meal prep for them. So obviously I cook lunch and dinner for them, but they are on a super tight regimen, tracking their macros. So I've created 4 weeks of menus for them that we review. They go over, make sure they want to eat that, but it's also broken down into protein portion sizes. And then when I'm making these recipes, I know, hey, I've already actually worked with a nutritionist that they have. We come up with these meals together, and it's pretty much right where they need to be each time. So when it comes to work, yeah, it's super on point. And creating those menus and portion control and weighing it. I mean, the biggest thing I took away from all of it was you really need to. It comes down to weighing it, right? When you're tracking your macros and come down to cutting and losing weight, and you know, somebody like me, I don't have to track as hard because I'm a big guy. I got weight to lose, so I know I can eyeball things for myself
Yeah.
personally that I know I can eat, but I know I can eat 2,200 calories. I know what mentally that looks like for me throughout a day. So I'm good at like, I can eat this, this, and this win. But when I'm cooking for clients or people who are, the people I work for, I'm weighing everything because they maybe have 5 pounds to lose or 10 pounds to lose, right? So you have to be super tight on what you're serving. And again, being prepared for that, creating it, going online, and there's a lot of good resources online to find and create menu items, because there's a lot of people out there doing it, tracking their macros. For my family, that's something my wife and I, we kind of go back and forth about all the time, because meal prep not only would save us a lot more money. I mean, we probably spend close to $2,000 a month on groceries for our family. But because she's going shopping every 2 or 3 days right now, we think it's better. I don't know. It's just hard. If we implemented a meal prep program for the week, especially around sports, it would save her a lot less headache. We were just talking about it yesterday,
Yeah.
right? Having your meals. All right, we're going to do. I told her you can pick 4 different proteins, right? You have a meat, you have chicken, fish, beef, and pork. And each one you can do Asian, Italian, Mexican, Asian, Italian, Mexican, Asian, Italian, Mexican. And you can go there and you can rotate that all. And you could have, what is that? That's 16 weeks of meals for
Yeah.
4 days
Yeah.
of rotation. And you have it all bagged out and just popped in. You can have it in your freezer, have it in your fridge. So that's something we tried doing, right? It's being prepared for it and knowing what's coming. Hey, I got practice this day. All right, cool. Well, on my Sunday, I'm gonna pre-package it, and having it raw too. I personally and would say having raw meal prepped out is better than trying to cook something and eat it 5 days later, 6 days later. That kind of gets a little harder, I think, because you're like, all right, I'm eating the same thing. I cook something Sunday, I'm going to eat it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Boom, I'm pulling a bag out on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm cooking this bag in the crock pot. Now I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, possibly Saturday, and then Sunday. I'm a full believer in, going out and kind of having a cheat day, eat what you
Absolutely.
want kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? We like to go out. We like to go out to eat. So we go out, we try to go out as a family when we're all together on a Sunday. Usually after church, we'll go and have brunch.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to enjoy it.
That's crucial
You gotta be able to
time.
enjoy it.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think I love the idea of my social and listeners are like probably so tired of me saying that, but you have to be extremely prepared. That is the key. That is the golden
Yep.
ticket. That is the secret sauce, period. And I've seen, my clients, at least like almost 1,000 women now. You have to be extremely prepared. This is what works. And this is what creates consistency, because those are the two things that I see: time and consistency that they don't have. You can create both and get back both and add in money on top of that, saving money, like you said, putting more money back into your wallet by meal prepping. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be for 7 days in a row. Like you said, Joey, that was a great idea of meal prepping Sunday through Wednesday, having that frozen crock pot meal ready to go for Wednesday through Saturday. Go out to eat Saturday, Sunday, whatever with your family. But you have to have a game plan, period. So what are you like? What is your go-to though? Like, as a private chef, you focus more on client and you don't really bring that home, really? Like, is that what I'm gathering? Or y'all try to do the meal prep thing at home? Because that has to be like, okay, I'm doing this freaking 5 days a week as a full-time job. I'm over it. Is that like kind of the mentality sometimes?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That definitely is. I mean, we're going 5, 6 days a week doing this stuff. I mean, I don't really want to come home and cook. That's why we come home and, we have tacos. Or my wife, she does, obviously she does all the cooking throughout the week, so I'm not home for dinner time. But yeah, it's much more client focused. It's much more, getting it done there. And in our lives, I don't see it necessary, right? It's not like, I'm like, all right, I don't personally meal prep at home for my week because I eat at work. So I rotate what I eat in and how I eat with what they eat, which helps me a lot. I mean, it's kind of like a little cheat code for me, because I go to work. I know I'm cooking this today. I know I'm going to eat this and this throughout the whole week. So for me, that's kind of how I do it. That's really easy. But for my wife and kids, our biggest thing is make sure the kids get a lot of protein, right?
Yeah.
Whether and we eat a lot of red meat. We eat a lot of ground beef. We eat a lot of, not so much chicken. I mean, yeah, we like chicken, but chicken thighs, right? People are like, oh, you got to eat chicken breast, you got to eat this. No, we eat a lot of eggs, we eat a lot of chicken thighs, and we eat a lot of
dark
steak here.
meat, baby.
And we eliminate a lot of that other stuff.
Yeah.
My kids, my 6-year-old, he'll eat an 8-ounce steak like it's nothing. It has to be medium rare though, because you feed him a medium well steak, and he'll be like, this isn't steak. Like,
That's
he
my
did it to my
guy.
mom one time. It's pretty funny. So no, we feed them a lot of protein. And it helps out.
Yeah.
We notice, like, if they're not full, they snack a lot more, right? When you're just letting them eat chips and all that kind of stuff. Katie's actually stopped buying that, right? So we're not feeding our kids McDonald's every night. We're not doing that, because we got there a little while ago, and you can see in the kids, it affects the kids. Yeah. I'm very conscientious to that, because with what I've gone through as being a bigger guy. So you start getting off track a little bit, and it's easier. All right, let's do fast food. Let's go out to eat every night. And we can honestly see the difference in our kids. They start to bloat up more. And you're like, all right, they're built just like me. Carbs are the enemy, right? But we love them. So, you start controlling that. Start making sure you're cooking meals at home, and your meals at home start becoming more, even just protein focused. It makes the biggest difference.
It really does.
Eggs, grass-fed butter. Get rid of seed oils. Get rid of canola oil. Use extra virgin olive oil for everything, right? Get rid of the snacks. When your kid's hungry, chop up some steak and give them some steak. Like, that's what we do for these guys. They love coming up when we're, barbecuing and chopping up steak on the board. My kid always come and grabbing it. Like,
well,
that's what we like to feed them.
It translates perfectly, because you know how you feel when you're on a fast food diet. You feel like crap. How do you think a growing belly, a growing mind feels when they're fed fast food, or, like you said, junk, seed oils, red 40, like all those things that can cause the effects of fatigue, behavioral issues? I fully believe that happens. Like, if they have junk often,
our kids get crazy when they're on sugar.
Yes,
they're insane. It's like crack. It's like crack.
Yes. Well, and I hear clients all the time, it's like, all he'll eat is goldfish. All he'll eat is chicken nuggets. All he'll eat is, junk food. I'm like, stop buying it. You have control over what is in your household. Stop buying it. It's really not that difficult. It's easy. This is the thing. It's easier for you, mom or dad, because it's quick. It's easy, and so that's just the harsh truth. That's the tough love part. It's like, it's easier for you to give them those things. You don't have to. You've got the key with the wallet, right? Don't buy the things. So I love that you said that. It's like, it does translate into your kids' behavior and how they're feeling and how they're doing at school, and because how it makes you feel. Yeah, it's easy, but it makes you feel like crap.
I don't know. People may even so with our kids, we notice when they don't eat in the morning, or they have a protein shake of some sort, or a smoothie, when they go throughout school, they're hungrier, they're grumpier, they get in trouble. We even got to the point where I give my kids protein shakes in the morning.
Yeah.
Because they want to go. They don't want to eat. Like, they'll just drink a protein shake or a smoothie, like a green smoothie that we'll make, and they're good to go. At least they got, that protein in them. They got, a banana, some spinach, some kale, orange juice. Like, they're good to go, right? Yeah. And it's fast, it's quick, that's easy. You don't have to sit here and do the same thing every day, right? When you got 3 kids getting ready for school and you got a baby crying, you got to go.
Yeah, for sure. And it can be that easy. Like, you can make it simple and make it work for you and your family. Yeah. It's just taking the time to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is what we are mostly not doing, is just like taking a step back and saying, hey, this is getting out of control. How do I make it better? And I'm hoping that this podcast episode helps somebody, one person, and it trickles into their family, their community. They get healthier because of this conversation. You know what I mean? Like, what would you tell somebody? Like, who are you talking to when you're talking health and wellness and the benefits of losing weight? Your mind is straight, everything's clear. Like, what would you say to the person that was your day one, Joey? What would you say to him today?
Start now. Do it. Don't wait so long. Damn it.
Start or die.
Nothing's going to change. It's like, if you wait, it's just going to make it a lot worse, right? You're just going to get older and it's going to suck more and you're not living up to your fullest potential. I really feel like it's my mission now with what I've been able to do and where I want to go, that like I can impact a lot more people's lives and inspire a lot more people. And people can be inspired through the hard things that I did, because it sucks.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard. Like there's times I was out there dragging, out there just doing some of the hardest things I've ever done, right? 24-hour ruck. Like there's just crazy things and it's not fun. It's not, it's really hard, but it's worth it, because especially for men, especially for fathers, like you are the leader in your house. You set the tone. If you're a slapdick, well, guess what? Your house is probably not going to be very tight. It may look like it on the outside, but there's going to be underlying issues to it.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be some problems that you're ignoring and not paying attention to. Until you get yourself right and you're running 100%, you're leading the right ways, you're showing up in the right ways. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care what you say, but there's issues.
Yeah.
You start showing up the right ways, you start getting out there and start doing it. I mean, it changes your life. And you can see. I mean, you can ask my wife. That's why she's always like, F3 was awesome for him. It was a community. You got him out there, got him out doing it. Like it's the thing you needed that you didn't know you need.
Yeah. So how are you going to do that moving forward? Like, the benefits of being a strong, mentally well guy. What you said, you're on a mission. How are you spreading this mission? Social, through your business?
Yeah, I try to do it on social media. I know I can be better about it, but actually being out there and doing it, the work, right? I don't post a lot of things. I probably should. My wife is always telling me, but now I have my own workout area that I lead, that I started. I started a heavy sandbag training area that I lead twice a month. And I got twice a week. I got 12 guys showing up Mondays and Thursdays, and we're working our butts off out there. And I'm going around, I'm teaching guys how to lift heavy shit around the other AOs, and showing them like really what this does when you train like a certain way, how it can impact your life. And so I'm out there doing it. I really am involved in that community and leading by example. That's how I'm sharing it. And then, I could be better about sharing it on social media, obviously. So that's something I'm working on. Definitely want to be able to put it out there more into the world in that aspect.
Yeah.
Day to day, I'm out there 5-6 days a week.
That's awesome. And that's the only way to get it done. Is to freaking do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
100%.
posting on social more would make a big impact. You are making a huge impact within your community, but the reach of people that need to see and do what you are doing is so big, and you can expand your reach on social.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so. I definitely think I could. Just with, I think that's the biggest thing where I'm lacking, and kind of what I've missed out on is just sharing, like we talked about in the beginning, how busy I am with my schedule with kids, but I'm out there doing it and just showing people like you can do it.
You can
eliminate
do it.
the excuses, because I was that guy. You can do it. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
It's just about you and slowing down and putting together a plan. It's just like the diet, right? You have to have a plan of action of how you're going to do something. Write down your goals. Have a vision board. Like, do all these things. Plan it out. You can't just be like, all right, I'm going to go do it and not have a plan to get there.
Yeah.
Have a goal. Write down your goals.
Yeah.
And create a roadmap. So, all right, I want to lose 50 pounds. What needs to start? Step 1, show up. Get outside. Go for a walk. Go walk a mile. Okay. Yes. All right. This week I walk a mile every day. Next week I'm doing 2 miles. Next week I'm doing 3 miles. Now I'm, going up to 5-6 miles, right? Like, it just start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And that's what we're not doing. We're not creating the roadmap. We're not taking a step back and looking like, hey, what can I do? And if I don't know what the heck I'm doing, look, who comes to mind when you think of health, wellness, fitness, being on their game, who you strive to be for? Is it myself? Is it Joey? Like, ask us. Get inside of our DMs, get inside of our email, find us somewhere and say, hey, I need some help. I don't know what my step 1 should be. Reach out to somebody and ask for a lending hand. Like, no one on the other side of their health and wellness journey is going to judge you, because they were you. They were in the trenches with you, so reach out to somebody. And how can they reach out to you, Joey? Like, how do they find you? How do they work with you? What can they expect from your social and all of that stuff? How do they get involved?
Yeah. So You could find me on Instagram. I think it's probably the best way. It's my personal account, Chef Joey 63. But also my private chefing business is the Hidden Truffle TX. That's the Instagram, right? You can find us there, reach out to me there, and if you want help. One thing I'm really starting to do is I want to take these menus that I already have created and start giving away to people, right? And I
Yes.
think that's something we talked about doing with your community is
Yeah.
having a week's menu of, hey, this is where we're at, this is the portion size. Go for it, give it a shot. And then diving deeper into that is offering, maybe a weekly talk about like how to shop, how to cook, the decisions you can make, right, when you're shopping, right? Do I get canola oil or do I get extra virgin olive oil? Do I get butter? Do I get margarine? Or do I get grass-fed butter? The little tweaks and twists you can make to how
Yes.
you eat and how you cook, because that's going to affect. Again, if you're that person that needs to lose 5-10 pounds, those are the changes that you need to make. Not like me. I mean, I can use whatever, but like for you, that person that's really tightening up, you got to figure out those things, and all those little calories make a huge difference.
And
I could put down
alcohol.
5 plates of healthy food in front of you, and alcohol. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
alcohol is a huge
I
player.
personally don't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife. I mean, I'm not a big drinker. I really, I partied enough in college,
Yeah.
and I've just the past probably four years, I would say, I'm really just not a big drinker at all. So I don't. For me, that's not an issue. But if you're drinking and you're eating like crazy, man, you're just like,
You would,
no
and
wonder
you
you're
would
not going
be
anywhere,
you and
right?
I
It's
will
just
we'll leave you with this. Like you would be so shocked at the amount of the little amount of time that you would see body composition changes when you do limit or eliminate alcohol, or you do limit and eliminate
oh
the
yeah,
the oils, the butters, the excess crap that you don't really necessarily need. You can see results within 2 to 3 weeks, guaranteed. Fight me on that one too. Guaranteed you will see some changes, at least in mood, in sleep.
yeah,
Maybe not body composition right off the bat, but you will see, skin, hair. Like it is wild when you reward your body, it will reward you back. Promise.
yeah,
We are both living proof. Joey, thank you for this conversation. This was amazing. I think listeners
yeah.
will find a lot of value and inspiration and motivation to get on the freaking high horse. Let's go. So I really appreciate you coming on and talking about your story and giving some value and motivation to the listeners.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. It's always fun to talk about these things, and again, sharing the journey because it never stops. And again, like I said, I really feel like I could help, even if it helps one person. You listen to this and you're like, "Damn, all right, I can do it. Just do it. I promise you, you can. It can
Yes.
happen."
Love
So,
it.
thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, we'll keep it on until it's 100%.
Yeah, I see. It says 99%. I can't hear you.
Maybe because I turned my speaker on. I said that was so good. Like, there's no reason we can't do a freaking 2, 3, 4, 5 parter.
Okay. Neat. Yeah,
It's awesome.
I do it. It's fun. Let people know.
So what?
So, how many people did you interview? More people today?
No, you're my only one today.
Okay.
Yeah. I try not to stack all my nap time up with interviews because I need that time
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Come on, 99.
Well, you're gonna say something. I cut you off.
No, it just needs to get to 100% and it's good.
Gotcha.
Hold on. So what is you're off the rest of the day? You there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're off
Yeah,
the
I'm here.
rest of the
Sorry.
day?
Yeah. Well, we got to have a conversation with my mom and dad today, and then we have the kids get home at 3, and we have lacrosse and practice and stuff tonight.